and gents, I hope you're all doing alright. Right, I'm coming on today with a quick tutorial. We all know how to make these, okay? I've done a tutorial on them from when I did a swap on them on Crafty Swappers UK. They're very, very basic, very easy to do, and I'm coming on to show you an alternative way, well, an alternative shape for these with Valentine's Day coming up, and I'm going to show you how to make heart-shaped ones. Now, I haven't come up with this idea. I've got the general idea off of Pinterest. Okay, so what you need to do is decide on how big you want your heart. Now, this one is a lovely size. Obviously, same as with any other rosette, you just adjust the width of your strips to get different size papers, and generally whatever size your strip is, you'll end up with double that in a rosette shape. So if you want a 2-inch one, you do a 1-inch strip. If you want a 3-inch one, you do a 1.5-inch strip, so on and so forth. Now for this one, I've done it 1.5 inches wide, and there it is 12 inch, so it's the full length of a 12 by 12. Let me just check. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I've picked my paper. Double-sided paper's nicer, but it doesn't matter. You can use single-sided. And I'm going to cut it to 1.5 inches. I'm just going to do that side because that's curled over for some reason. So go to 1.5 inches on my cutter. Make sure it's straight. And cut your strips. There's my strip. Okay, move that out of the way. Now, half of that is 6. So what you do is you get yourself a piece of card that is 6 inches long, which would be the same size as that, and you draw yourself a template. Now your template wants to look like, it doesn't have to be perfect, okay, but you do need a template, and it wants to look like this, which is what I call a flat nose, flat bottomed fish. Okay, so there's the edge of your card, which is there. So you'd probably start about there, about a third of the way up. Okay, if I show you, then you just go round, right up to close to the top, and then go round a bit, and then just do a bit of a curve down, and then you end up in the far corner. Okay, in the far corner. So just do a rough shape like that. Okay. So just like that. So you're starting about a third of the way, not quite halfway, just below halfway. You're going up to the top in a curve, down in a slight curve. If you can try and make these even sort of in distance, roughly. I mean, I'm just measuring with just roughly. But then you finish in the top corner. Then you cut that out. That's your template, okay? And you keep that. So then you get your 12 by 12 and you decide which way you want it. Well, I want the pink, so I'm just going to fold it gently in half. Okay, onto the reverse side, I'm going to put my template on, like that, and then I'm going to cut round my template. Okay, just hold it and cut round it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't matter. On this, it doesn't matter. So I'm just cutting around my template. Okay. As I said, it doesn't matter if you take chunks out your template, it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. Doesn't matter, everything's fine. Okay, and then up to the top corner, like that. Okay, so the bottom of this strip stays the 1.5 inch width. And then obviously you fold it out to the shape you want, you print it on your board, and you're going to score it every 1/4 of an inch. Now when I'm doing rosettes, I would advise you use decent quality card, because if you use thin card or thin, well, this is paper, it's just paper, but if you use really thin paper, then when you're scoring, it tends to tear, and sometimes when you're folding, it makes it difficult if it's really thin paper. So I would make the effort to use some decent paper. It does work with cheap paper, you know, you can make it work, but I just personally find it easier, as it were. So you're marking every 1/4 of an inch, okay, every 1/4 inch, making sure that's buttered straight up against there. I've used all sorts to score with. I've done it straight on my craft mat using a ruler and a blunt instrument. Doesn't matter. There's ways round everything. Okay. So every 1/4 inch. It's a bit boring to watch, I'm sorry, but you've got to do the whole process from start to finish, haven't you? And as I said, just reduce, just play about with the sizes of it. Having too much length isn't a problem at all, but having it too short, you won't have a nice gather in your finished rosette. Okay, so there we go. So then you just fold it back and forth, back and forth. This is where you want to take a little bit of care, because you don't want to be skipping and not having it even, because that's what makes it a nice you know, even gather, as it were. It can be a bit fiddly, especially for ladies that maybe have motor problems with the fingers, but just take your time. There's no rush. I mean, I'm rushing because it's a video and I don't want to bore you stupid watching me fold. But you know, it can make your hands stiff if you have problems that way. So just do a little bit, put it down, go back and do a bit more. You don't have to not do it. There's ways and means of doing everything. There's more than one way to skin a cat and all that palaver. Okay, so there we go, we're nearly done. Right, so then I'm gonna gather it all up in a nice pile, nice big concertina pile, and give it all a right good squeeze. I mean, you can burnish it with your doodah, what's it, but I always end up like letting go of it and it goes all over, so just do it really tightly like that if you can, or use your doodah, what's it. I'm just going to move that out of the way because I'm quite protective over my scoreboard and I don't want glue on it. And then you just do what you do with a flower, a normal flower rosette, and you join your two ends. Now for speed, I am going to use glue, hot glue, just to be quick, just for the sake of quickness. I wouldn't normally use hot glue. I would probably try and use wet glue or even a very thin tape. Hot glue is not ideal for paper, but I'm just doing it for the sake of the video and the viewers. Okay, so you've joined them together and then you just do what you normally do. Just gonna get a circle for the back to hold it all together, and then I'm just gonna find something to go on the front. So let's have a look what we've got here. Well, I'll use one of these. I've got these little glittery hearts. I'm just going to stick that on just for the sake of the video. You could put buttons on, you can put, you know, like these, your little die cut centres, blings, flowers, whatever you like. So then you just push it all down like that, like you do with normal ones. Push it, get it into a nice shape that you're happy with. I'm just going to use hot glue. You'd use wet glue or whatever, you can use it. You can use hot glue, I sometimes do. It don't always stick very good on paper, but you just use whatever you want. As long as it does job, it doesn't really matter, does it? Okay, so just hold that so it doesn't all come unfolded. You will take more time over it, obviously, but there you go. And also, your fold where you want to join together really should be at the back. I've done it a little bit wrong there, look, and I've got my folds, what I've glued together at the front. Really, they should be at the back. I should have planned that a little bit better. And as you can see, the shape in the middle looks a little bit untidy, but it doesn't matter because that's probably because I've rushed it for the video. But I'm just going to stick a little heart over the middle like that. There you go, it's perfectly fine. And you could add, you know, something underneath. You can have it as it is. You could put a little paper doily underneath. I haven't got any tan to show you. You could put a, what have I got here? You could put a scallop under it. You could even add it to, have I got one big enough? You could even add it to a little bit of gathered lace. You can layer them up, you can put them on cards, you could send them as embellishments, whatever. But there's a little Valentine accordion heart for you. Easy to make. Go and give it a go. I'll give you another quick look at the template. Okay, and I will leave a link to a Pinterest site that shows you step by step and where I got this template from. All right, ladies, have fun. Go and make some Valentine hearts. Take care. Bye for now.